Welcome back to a small update video. We are talking today about AMC, BYND, GME, FFAI, GNS, CLOV, SPY, Open and VOG. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal method. Explanation video for that I will link at the end of the video. How it works, rules, and so on. For AMC and GME today, I will put them together today because they're belonging together, so it will be just one section. So let's jump in. And for AMC and GME, I will do it today a little bit different, just because, I'm getting now quite a lot more views than usual, and which is really nice, thank you. But of course, we are also getting some haters, and in the last weeks I got some people who really don't like if you're talking about alternatives, and these people were sending me things which came so close to death threats. So close, but still. Yeah, to make that absolutely clear, I absolutely don't fucking care. Yeah, why should I? Yeah, these people are just woohoo. But still, we will do it today slightly different. First, we will just talk about the bullish versions about AMC and GME, and after that we will talk about the bearish alternatives for whoever wants also to hear an alternative and is not just a stupid fanboy. Okay, so let's start with AMC. First of all, if you want to know the full tracking with how the squeeze should look like, price targets, 1-pot squeeze, 2-pot squeeze, I will again post the link of this video at the end of the video. Today we will only look what we have done this week. So let's zoom in. So, and sadly, this week was just nothing, because this here was this week sideways, nothing, niente. Yeah, so we only have two versions. Yeah, main tracking version, I still want my fucking higher low. And that also means we have to drop to 135 or 170, 172, 77 as 127. So now I have it. Of course, that's 13%. And I already got a question today. Do I really think that we will drop 13 to 16% tomorrow? And I have to agree. That is very unlikely. Except Adam Aaron is publishing tomorrow in pre-market, he will dilute 100 million shares, which already happened in 2021. But still, it still would be quite unlikely that we're doing that. It would be perfect if we would do it tomorrow, but unlikely. So for main tracking purposes, I would say we're just doing nothing tomorrow, or slightly pulling down tomorrow, or slightly going up tomorrow. In all three cases, that wouldn't matter at all. It would mean next week we're getting this pullback. And the second week of June, we can do something, we can start the squeeze. Yeah. The stupid part is, it would have been so fucking nice if we have done this the whole week, because if we would just close tomorrow here, I would even add more to my position. With this bullshit, even tomorrow, blah, no. So main tracking, we do the pullback next week, and then second week we have the chance to go up. The only other stupid version would be we just gap up on Monday and squeeze from here. But the thing is, first, this would be the first time in history AMC did it. In 2021, 4 and 5, we always did the higher low. Why should we not do it now? But okay, if we gap up tomorrow, or maybe even tomorrow or on Monday, fine. I give you the possibility, but the thing is, if we do that, I was wrong. Pretty easy. Even if I say there's a tiny chance we could do that, I would have been wrong. Yeah. And because some people were saying, yeah, but you're saying that other predictors are stupid or predicting it wrong. To clarify that, yeah, if we gap up on Monday, we are jumping the higher low. We are not doing the higher low. Here's no way, any kind of way to put the higher low in here. No. And I only call people stupid who wanna tell me that this is the higher low. That's the only thing I said in the past. This is not a higher low. It doesn't matter how you want to move this, and no. So if we gap up on Monday, we jump the higher low. We never did that. Would be first time in history. But if we do that, okay. If not, pull back next week. That's for AMC. Next one, GME. And also for GME, if you're interested in the full tracking, price target, how the squeeze should look like, I will link the video at the end of the video. Also for GME, this week was absolutely nothing. And the problem with GME is it really should start doing something. So for the bullish tracking for GME, you should start from here going up. Also next week, you should go up. Not sideways, not down, up. What would that look like? Same thing like I was showing in the last weeks. In 2024, when AMC was doing the pullback from its higher low, GME did this, up, sideways. The same like in 2021. It would be this move here, January 12th, up and sideways. So for bullish tracking, I really want to see that GME is fucking starting doing that. Yeah? Or if we squeeze on Monday, it would be also the first time GME is running at the same time like AMC and not starting slightly before AMC. And it would be just the first time that GME is gapping up from such a place right now. Also, if we do that, I was also wrong on GME. Okay, that's the two bullish versions for AMC and GME. So if you can't stand an alternative, you can now jump to BYND. For everyone else who are interested also in some normal tracking and landmarks, now the bearish version. And for the bearish version, we staying at GME, because in my opinion, GME will give us the answer first. Really, it's the same problem like for the bullish tracking. This bullshit which we did this week is bad. Yeah. Because we didn't move at all. Yeah. So if GME is not, I give, because of timing, yeah, I give AMC and GME time till the 10th of June. Why? Because GME has predicted earnings there. If GME next week, doesn't matter what AMC is doing something like this, I will go massively short on June 9th. Why? Because the problem is, if we do that, there is for me personally, a big chance we are right now here. Yeah? You went up from a low. You peaked in May. You fell down from this peak. And after the fell down, you just went sideways. What is this? Is that something you can remember? You went up from November. You peaked 1st of May, not end of May, but in that case, time doesn't matter. You fall down, from this peak, quite drastic, and then you fucking went sideways. Is that something similar what we are doing right now? Same thing. If we look for another comparison, because this landmark here is May 2025. So we look at something which we got in 2024. In 2024, it would be this landmark here, March 2024. You went up quicker than we're doing it now. We pulled back and then we went sideways. This is what's coming after that. And to say this also here, you had earnings. Next landmark for something like this would be here, March 2020. You went up from February into March peak, end of March. You instantly fell down, and then before you dropped even further, you went into sideways mode. Also earnings close. Or the last one would be here, June 2019. You went up. I mean, this is way smaller because it's the beginning of the fractal. And then you just knifed. And then you went sideways before you fell even lower. That's my main problem. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to see something this week or May, or at least next week. Because if we're just going next week sideways on GME, bad. What would it mean for GME if we do that? First of all, this here is not A anymore. This would be T. But the main point would be that if we look at the macro tracking, our run in the 2021 was A. This is still holding. Nothing changes that. Pull back to our V in May 2024. But this whole thing was and has been our higher low of this A. Problem with this, in my opinion, we never finished it. Yeah, that was always this little devil on the side who's saying, yeah, but hey, you didn't finish it. Is that really right? Because as you know, the higher low is finishing at the 786 or V under A. And both we didn't do. The 786 is at 1561 and our A bottom is down here at 1362. So if we're doing this bullshit, if we're doing this pullback, well, in my opinion, you will fall to $17 or $15, like so many people are predicting. You will even bounce here. Here, because it would be this landmark. You will bounce here. You will go into October of doing nothing, and then you will go up. Same like here. And then you will fall to your V, to 13.63 or even a little bit lower in November. Then doing the higher low. January to April, you have the next chance to run. That is the alternative for GME. And I mean, for GME, it would make sense with news because of dilution. Would be the perfect news. What would that mean for AMC? For AMC, that would mean we could still track AMC bullish till August, because what that would mean for AMC would be that this is not higher low, this would be just T. Yeah, as I already showed in the past. In that case, you will fall. You will drop under this level of May. You will bounce here. You will come up again. But this time, you're not breaking over 194. This would be just a lower high. The lower high of this. And of course, this wouldn't be A. This would be T. Yeah. Then you would come down. This time you may even break the all-time low. You will come up again. This would be just your M. Down again, up again, T, and then you will fall. AMC won't knife. It will slowly, here, perfect example. It would be something like this. Yeah, down, up into July, down, then in October, last peak before you, not knifing, but very quite quick pulling back. Yeah, same like here, would be the same thing. Here, May top, June lower high, falling down, December and down. Same thing, sadly. Yeah, you will be able to track AMC till maybe even September, November, bullish. Yeah, but the end result will be first, you won't squeeze 2026, and the second one, my low targets would be something around 60 to maybe even 10 cents. And I absolutely agree with everyone. Fundamentally, this makes 0 sense. Zero. Also for AMC, because I also agree, they are worth more. Fractally, if we do this bullshit, that's the target. Yeah? So I think AMC will still pull back next week. We will just can't say if this is then bullish or bearish. I mean, if we break this low, okay, bearish. But I think we just have to look at what is GME doing. If GME is still going sideways next week, bleh, would be fucking bad. And to make that absolutely clear, it would be also stupid, because we will talk about some of these plays today, but in my opinion, June could be and maybe will be a perfect month from so many memes. BYND is looking like it will start its run next week. Sava is looking good. Even FFAI could have a chance. CLOV, plug, Bad Buff and Beyond, even HKT looks fucking interesting. GoPro, Neo, Open, Riot. So in that case, I would just have to say, so everyone is ready to go into a fucking bull run. Only these two assholes are saying, nah, I wait till 2027. I don't like this year. Yeah, sadly, it would be the same shit like 2020 and 2021, because AMC and GME were the last ones. I'm still bullish, to make that absolutely clear. I still have more position, but I want, especially from GME, I have to see something next week. Otherwise, I go into puts. Okay, then let's jump into something more nicer. Yeah? BYND. So for BYND, the same thing again. If you want the full tracking, so the macro tracking, the overall look, I will link at the end of the video. Today we just look what we have done today, and I would say it's time to be happy. Just for the quick explanation, we finished the macro higher low for the bullish tracking, this macro higher low, on April 7. And since then we did the small or the middle A upper run and a pullback. And with this move today, I think we have a, let's say, over 70% chance that really May 19th, 2026 was the end of this A pullback. Yeah. Then we did this higher low. I mean, I was expecting we ending this higher low tomorrow, Friday. We right now, in my opinion, finished it already on Wednesday. And this thing here, because I said in the last video, if you break over 83 or 84-ish, no, 83, this line here, yeah, this is already bullish. And we did that today. Yeah. So this thing here would be tiny. Yeah. Tiny. So there's a chance you maybe still do a little pullback tomorrow. If we do that. Something around 0.5, which would be 78 cents or 76 cents for the 618. Yeah, I wouldn't sweat if we do that, as long as we're not going under 74. Yeah, but overall, I think from next week on, we should see green. Absolutely confirmation to rule out any downside would be, of course, 115, like in the last video shown. As long as we are not over 115, we still have to be scared about the 70 cents. Yeah. I mean, we should always be scared about the 70 cents, just to say that. But if we break 115, we don't talk about 70 cents anymore. Yeah. We are not allowed to touch that because that would just destroy the whole house of cards. Just saying. But this looks fucking great. And just for a reminder, if we go in slow, our next target should be middle B here, which will reject the main trend line from IPO till today, and this would be around $5 to $6. In that case, we will most likely will do the same pullback like A, so a few weeks at least, and then we go up to our little c, which is at the same time our macro A, which has to be over $15 to $43 if we're not doing something stupid. And this target still remains July, August. So BYND looks fucking great. Doesn't matter what news we get. I think the bad times are now over. Let's see. Okay, because of the movement yesterday, we will look at GNS. So GNS got a good move yesterday with AI news. Yeah, what a shocker. It was a good move. Sadly, not a perfect move. But for this in a second, just for a little repetition of the tracking, GNS started its IPO in its all-time high and its peak. It immediately just fell down since then. Lower high, midpoint T. For the bullish tracking here on April 3rd was still our all-time low. And since then we are doing this higher low. If we track this bullish, and if we are bullish, our next one after this down here, our A should be over 6, our B should be over 84, and our C is breaking all-time highs or slightly under it. Again, if we bullish, I don't think we get these pullbacks. Yeah, we just go up because GNS is one of these stocks like FFAI, for example, which just straight go up. Yeah. Now for this little move. Yesterday, it looked perfect. And to say this, if we would have broken 56, 62-ish, I think we would already have seen the squeeze today. Sadly, we didn't. And in that case, we really dropped down again. So previously, my T was here. With this move down, our T was here. Why? For the bullish tracking. Why? Because this whole thing here is just the micro higher low to this higher low. So if you're bullish and when we finish this, next thing should be the run. Yeah. Only one warning. It looks good, but one thing, we are not out of the woods yet. Yeah. Really, I really mean that. Be careful still with GNS. If you're already watching me longer, you know I bought my position here, yeah, at 30 cents. Or was it here? 30 cents, yeah. It was here. And I absolutely clearly communicated back then that my stop loss is 20 cents. Yeah. And the problem is, this danger line of 20 cents is still there. Yeah. If we're not bouncing somewhere in this range, yeah, you can still go a little bit lower. Yeah. But if you are breaking or touching 20 cents, then this thing becomes T. If this thing is becoming T, this thing becomes also T. And then you will break all-time lows. and then you will break 10 cents. And again, then you only have a few options. You delist, you go OTC, or you're getting a massive reverse split. Whatever of these three options will happen, it kills the play completely. That's why I have the stop loss at 20 cents. Yeah. We are not out of the woods yet. If we would have broken 62 or 52 cents yesterday, it would be fucking great. Sadly, we didn't. So if we micro track this here would be our peak of the higher low. Come on. We'll have here a lower high, midpoint T. Technically, we are finished with everything. So we could start bouncing here. Yeah. If we're still going down, yeah, something in this range. Yeah. Right now, it looks okay. Yeah. Don't touch or break 20 cents. For me personally, could be wrong. Yeah. But I'm out at 20 cents. And if it runs after that, okay, fine. But for my tracking, 20 cents is bad. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, because of GNS, we will look at FFAI now too. So again, just a little summary. FFAI ran with the memes, AMC and GME in 2021. Yeah, it ran with them at its IPO. Yeah. So this was FFAI's C, the top. Then you have the lower high, midpoint T, and for the bullish tracking, April 10th was the all-time low. So before we look at this down here, for the macro tracking, your next target for A is something over 4, for B something over 150, and C is breaking all-time highs or something under it. If you do a forward split at 150, if you're not doing a forward split here, this will be you don't go over this line. We have 3 reverse splits. You won't see FFAI at $72,000 per share. No. You can go up here, but with a forward split. And the same like GNS, I don't think we will see, if we going bullish and squeeze, I don't think we will see these pullbacks, because also FFAI is just going vertical every time. So for FFAI, same thing like GNS, we are sitting in our higher low. We also had our V, we also ran up, we also didn't broke T and rejected here. So this thing, in my opinion, I think now it's absolutely clearly that this is just our macro higher low. Is this macro higher low finished? I still think no. Our A bottom and the higher low always ends in a V under A. Our A bottom is sitting at 27 cents. We came close to it. We came to 28 cents. So we would have to drop 1 cent more. Yeah? But we still need one more drop. Yeah? Something in this range still. Yeah? Maybe tomorrow. Yeah? Between 27 and 24 cents. I mean, I know from here this would be 15% or 12% down. But this is just 4 cents in reality. Yeah. Percentage-wise, it sounds big, but it's only 4 cents we have to drop. Yeah. So let's see. Same like GNS. If you touch or break 20 cents, OTC, delisting, reverse split. Yeah. Don't touch or break 20 cents. Yeah, because you will go under 10. Okay. Next one, because of risky plays, Sava. Because the last update is a while ago. Again, just saying, this is a really, really risky play. It would be in the same range, kind of like HKT and GDC, for example. If you buy options for this play and we don't get the move, you can't get out. The option chain is completely dead. But to that in a second. Why are we even looking at this? Because of one thing. GNS is all Sava, or how it's called now, FLNA, is always the same thing. It goes up, it gaps down, goes sideways, gap filled. It goes up, gaps down, going sideways, gap fill. It goes up, fell down, going sideways, gap fill. It goes gaps out, down, sideways, it gap fills. Yeah, so I think that's clear what it's doing all the time. Yeah, and right now for the big thing, we went up, gap down, went sideways. So the move why we even looking at this is this gap here. And we are sitting right now at 158. If the tracking is right, and if we're doing that, we're talking about a gap fill to 26. MIF shares, this is a move from 1,500%. For options, this is a 15 to 20,000% move. That's why it's so interesting. We have two versions here. We start with the bearish one because it's the quickest one. If we breaking down from here, if we touch or break $1.15, we would be right now here. That means you will do a new all-time low. At 115, I would think it would be something between 17 and 50 cents. That isn't a bad thing. The bad thing is we would still have to do this. And this will take months. And I would even say this will take you into 2027. Then we can still track the gap fill, but it will take time. For the bullish tracking, we just did CLMT gap down to our V. And our V would have been April 7. Since April 7, we did this perfect higher low here. I mean, perfect, okay. It went very close. 3 cents above the V. It's still okay, but it was fucking close. Would we be finished? The thing is, I could easily see that we still have to do this micro higher low or this higher low. And I would imagine that we maybe already peaked for this higher low here. Maybe I look a little bit lower. Yeah, here. Maybe we already peaked, or we still have a little run up to 166. But in the end, I would still look like AMC for a higher low. Yeah, so something around 126-ish. Yeah, and then just go. Yeah. But to make that absolutely clear, I would say everything over 190. And I don't think we do this little higher low. Just saying. But again, if you play options on this stock, because the option chain is completely dead, if you buy them, you aren't able to sell them if you're not doing the move. If you're doing the move, yes. So careful. Yeah. And of course, if you touch $1.15, $1.15, over. Yeah. But I mean, if we do that, it's so let's see. Okay, next one is Plug Power. Also an old stock. I don't even know when I did an update on this. I think it wasn't so long time ago. But it also looks fucking interesting. That's why I'm saying, I mean, is the June and July rally for everything except AMC and GME? Okay, Plug also started its IPO nearly its all-time highs, lower high, midpoint T, down to its all-time low, which is around February 2013. We didn't do a higher low here, we just ran up to our macro A. And then we did the pullback. It's a nice 618 pullback. And then we already go into micro tracking. So for micro tracking, we have a bullish and a bearish version. But the bearish version is dying every day. What I mean with that? We had also here our V. We also didn't do a higher low here. We just ran up to our T. We did a wonderful 0.5 pullback here. We did a little higher low, and since then we are running. For confirmation, and that's very important for Plug, you have to break $4.74. This is your confirmation line. If you go over that, bullish. If you reject in this range here under 475, this becomes higher low. Just saying. And this becomes then a lower high, and then you will drop down to $1.05. Yeah, but we are fucking close right now. I think this decision will be made next week. Yeah? Everything over 474, fucking bullish. What's the next target then? Well, for small and slow tracking, your next target is $13 for your B. Yeah? But for macro tracking, your next target is big B, and big B has to go over big A, and this means $112. So, yo, looks cool. Let's see. Okay, next one is Clover. And I don't really know anymore if this was ask stock from you or if I find it. I mean, doesn't really matter right now, but I'm not sure if it was coming from you or from me. I only knew we had two versions. We had this bullish one and a bearish one where this was M. But with this break today, the bearish version is, in my opinion, dead. Yeah. What does that mean? We have our C, our lower high, our midpoint, our T. Here is our V. We didn't do higher low. We broke over T, so this is just our A. We bounced at the 0.5 quite perfectly and just ran up. So for what is the next target? The next target is $11 for B. Only question is, are we doing a B pullback here? Yeah. I would say for normal tracking, yes, because we also did a pullback. But the only way to compare this whole move to IPO, I would say the only way is that this peak candle here, and I could be wrong, but I just don't find any other explanation for this. This was our C. We did this cup. Same like here. We did this cup. Come on. We did this cup. Then here was your handle. And then you just go up. Yeah. So just for what I'm thinking, in that case, this section here was your A, and you would be right now here, kinda. And this is the move you are expecting. But if you look closely, here are no really pullbacks. Yeah, I mean, maybe because we can't really see something because it was the IPO, but this move is shooting you over all-time highs. And not only slightly over all-time highs, it was pretty good. So the price target for this would be around $40 to $60 and quite quick. Sadly, I can't give you a time. We have so big landmarks with quite big differences. I can't give you a time. Yeah, so do we have splits? No splits. Okay, so 40-60 is possible. I would just play it safe. I know leaps or generals are expensive, but this looks fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Next, a little look at VIX and SPY. Again, just a little explanation what VIX is. Volatility index. Yeah, means in short, VIX going down means SPY goes up. VIX going up, SPY goes down. Yeah, there's a little bit more to it, but for the easiest explanation. And I was already showing that in the last video where I tracked this here, August 2024, SC, lower high, and we would be right now just in M. The M started here, December 2025, and we are still in the M pullback. Yeah? And as said in the last video, I expect a pullback to 1340, which means that SPY and NASDAQ will fucking rally. And we will look at that in a second. I already said here, yeah, this is looking fucking bearish and we will be fucking going down. I changed one little thing. In the last video, I had this here already as T, the T of this M. I don't think so anymore. I think that this was just little m, just a little m to this, let's say tiny m to this little m, and the little m from the big M. Yeah? So this little m is not finished yet. This was T, so I would still think the first thing we go to $15 for wicks, then we get a little up. This would be just little T for our M, and then we go down to 13. To make that clear what that means, if we do that, SPY should go and NASDAQ should go to at least 780, 790, both of them, NASDAQ and SPY. We will look at it in a second. These levels will be the top for SPY and NASDAQ for the short term. Then VIX will bounce here. After that, VIX will go to $30-ish. That will be the, we will look at that, will be the pullback. This is already the pullback to 680, 690 for SPY. And then we will bounce there and VIX going to all-time low. And you go into the bull market for SPY and NASDAQ. So to show that, what I mean. Here's SPY. Wait, let's go on the 4 hour. Yeah. So here's SPY on the 4 hour. This is our broadening wedge in January 2026. And I said we had two possibilities. First, we go to 750 and we pull back here to the broadening wedge. We had a good chance. But I also said if we bounce here and break over 750 again, our next target is 783. Just because this would be A. And A is a 0.5 or 6.8 pullback. You already broke here. So now, in my opinion, in the next weeks, or let's say in the next 60 days, you go up here or even higher. Yeah, just saying that. And after that, you will do this pullback. And to say this, the story behind that was always, this was war. This will be peace. Maybe. I have something for this too. But this would mean this here would be VIX at $13. This is VIX going to $30. But for VIX, this is just T. VIX will reject and knife, and SPY and NASDAQ will just go up. But that's for the future, just saying. Now, just shortly for the little story which happened this week. Here, positives? Yeah. At this point on Wednesday, we got the news that Iran is signing the peace deal. And it was really communicated, okay, now is peace. And we fucking knifed. I mean, okay, knifed. This was what? Yeah, nearly 1%. Not really knifed, but still. Then, oh no, they don't. Oh yes, they do. And here, okay, the ceasefire is extended 60 days. Which, I mean, is clear, in my opinion, is clearly telling you war is bullish. Peace is bearish. But let's see. But all in all, the market looks fucking bullish. Yeah. So again, it's just weird that AMC and GME might are not bullish. What the hell? Yeah. Okay, then we look at open. So just because I have a little alternative for open. Yeah. For the tracking, we have our C, lower high, midpoint T. Our all-time low, our V was June 2025. We broke out to our A. We did a perfect 0.5. We went up to our B and also did a 0.5. And in my latest update video, I said we fell way too low here because we nearly broke this low here. Which I was saying that this is our T. Yeah. And I'm still standing to that. I still think this is T. And for the micro tracking, what we did today was just a small T of this T. I'm still the opinion we will drop here for new low, something around 4 to 390-ish, and then we go up. Target for that would be our main C and something 38 to something over $11. That's for sure. If you're breaking all-time highs or not, something in this range. So the alternative for this, because I got a few questions about some comrades. Why can't this be higher low? Because we already saw that for AMC. Again, normally higher low is not going over T. That's normally a sign that your T is wrong and this is just T. But for the case, so that we have also a bullish case. If you mark this as higher low, you have to go over 560. If you break 560, fuck it. This is not T. This whole thing was just higher low and you will go up from here. Yeah. But if you still reject here, which I mean, confirmation would be if you're just dropping from here. Yeah. Because right now, this would be a perfect trend line. You have to reject. Okay, fine. It's still the old tracking where this is T. If you still continue going up tomorrow or next week and you break over 560, you go up. Just to clarify that, and that's the only reason why I updated this. Otherwise, everything is still the same. Okay, then we do one community wish because not so much time today. And we are looking at WOC today, and that's Work Medical Technology Group. And I really have to say, hands off of that shit. Yeah, I mean, tracking wise, it's okay, pretty clear. You have your C, your lower high, your midpoint, your T. But you have two reverse splits and you have two 1 to 100 reverse splits. And this stock will just go bankrupt. It's the same like Mullen, for example. You have always the same. Going sideways, a little bit up, fall lower, sideways, lower, sideways, lower, sideways, a little bit up, lower. So the next thing, in my opinion, which will happen is sideways, a little bit up, lower. Yeah. In my opinion, especially with these two, you won't even break $1 again. This thing is going to die. Yeah. Some stocks are just a scam. Yeah. A Fractal can't help you with that. Yeah, this is a clearly sign this goes bye-bye. I wouldn't touch that shit. Really. And I think, what is the float? 1.22 million. There may be one last 1 to 100 reverse split, and that's it for that stock. Don't touch it. Isn't worth it. Way better place. Yeah. To say that, for everything else, yeah, what we didn't look today, Bed Bath & Beyond, latest update video, still 100% accurate. It's going fucking up. HKT looks interesting. Is a YOLO play like GDC and Sava, but still. Oklo, latest update video, perfect. GoPro still looks absolutely perfect. CoreWave looks perfect. Neo went a little bit lower than expected, but should be now in the place for the run. also looks perfect. Fuser or tracking still looks interesting. GDC, the YOLO play. You will wake up one day, it will be delisted and gone, or it will do its fucking move. It's just a YOLO play. DGT looks like we are doing now the higher low. We will make an update on the weekend for that. So Riot is in its run to its B. Yeah, latest update tracking video. It's fucking perfect. Pause looks fucking good too. So in my opinion, it will be a fucking nice June, July, August run for all of it. Yeah, again. Maybe I'm just wrong, and maybe I'm too, how do you call it? Too nervous and want to see a bearish side on AMC and GME, but everything looks really good. So if we are bearish on AMC and GME, these two stocks would be the only ones. Yeah, so whatever that means. Okay, was a little bit longer that video today. As always, explanation video here, playlist here, the big update video back here. As always, if you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can leave me an abo. Let's see what we get tomorrow. See ya.